Is Armand
Live?
live?
I think that's
Armand's here. Yo, 0 views.
It's okay.
You know, we have 2 views right here if you think about it.
True. Okay. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you say something?
Something.
Sick. Okay, I think we're good to go. I guess I'll just watch chat, and if people say we're not good, then we'll do that.
Facts.
Isn't this setup so primo though?
This is prime. This is like elite tier setup.
Yeah.
Is there a way for me to make it so I don't hear myself, or is that just cooked eternally?
You can take your headphones off.
Oh, I could do that. This might permit me to speak. Oh, but now I don't feel like I'm a pod. Never mind. No, this is part of the podcast experience.
I can unplug yours.
No. I've grokked the fact that hearing myself is important to the experience.
Okay. Well, as long as you got it.
Maybe. Yeah. Wow. Hair. Whoa.
It's pretty sick, right?
This is so sick. The aura,
Okay.
allegedly. And we're also both Wisconsin coded right now.
We are so Wisconsin coded.
So Wisconsin coded. Big if true.
All right. I think we're ready to get started. Yeah. So, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hold on, I got a warning.
Uh-oh.
Oh, come on, man. The university Wi-Fi cannot support that bitrate. I refuse.
Oh, come on.
I already doubled it. It's okay. It should be fine.
We don't need bitrate. Bitrate's overrated.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how you doing, Mr. Will?
I'm doing most excellently. I just got out of a beautiful lab meeting, as always, where we're watching through this Stanford How to Build a Language Model course. And we talked about, I learned about GPU memory bursts today, which I don't understand at all, but I learned how flash attention works. Something, you don't have to like go back and recalculate all your softmaxes because you can just like do a telescoping sum as you go thing. Because like basically when you're doing like a matmul, like the like bottleneck is usually like memory reads from global memory. So like you read it in tiles basically, and then you put the tile in like shared memory, which is then like really fast, like caching basically, really fast for the like compute to access. So in order to like maximize your bandwidth, because you have a bunch of like parallel channels here, you like read in like a big tile at a time, and then you're basically matmulling tiles at a time rather than just like matmulling the whole matrix by like reading it in and doing the calculations as you go. And like this is way faster. But something, if you don't like line up your tiles with like the way that like GPU memory gets read out, it gets read out in bursts. You don't just read a single value because then you have to like go look up the address of the next thing. You read out like one thing and then it like auto starts like sending the rest of this in a burst. And if you don't like line up your tiles with your burst, you're going to end up doing like double the bursts that you want to. So then like you go slow. But if you line it up, you go fast, which is why like a 257 by 256 like square matmul is going to be like twice as slow as like a 256 by 256 if you're not like smart about the way you do tiling. So that's what we learned about in lab today.
That's cool.
Which like I don't know exactly how this relates to our like mission of interpreting model internals, but like he wants us to do more efficient experiments. So we're learning cool stuff. We're learning Triton next week apparently.
Sick.
Yeah.
You should talk to Sam about that because I think Sean put him on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this stuff reminds me of operating systems, which I know you haven't taken, but I don't think you need to take, and you're not going to because you're graduating. Duh.
True. I mean, I might just like work through. Okay, that's like a big commitment to put myself into. I might work through OSTEP at some point. It seems like maybe, but also I have a lot of other things to learn. I need to learn like information theory and game theory and keep learning deterrence theory and blah, blah, blah. So unclear if I'll actually end up doing that. Probably not.
Makes sense. I think OSTEP lends itself pretty well to self-study, as it were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey viewers, you just got a cold open to Mr. Will Anderson. This is what goes through his mind on a daily basis.
So facts.
Exceedingly technical rambles on like very cool stuff.
Yeah. Smile.
Yeah.
I also do policy,
You also do policy.
sort of working
Yeah.
on it.
Do you want to give the viewers an overview of what you are and what you do?
Sure. Um, so I'm Will. I am an AI security researcher. That's now the term that I prefer to use for myself. I do technical research focused on multi agent security, which is how you secure systems of many AI agents interacting. I do some work in like RL post training and understanding that, and like understanding how that changes the safety and security of models. And then on the policy side, I'm most interested in US China competition. Um, Deterrence is something I've been thinking a lot about lately. I have a paper on that. I think a lot about compute governance, supply chain, and why I think the US needs a robust lead for us to make it through these next exciting years. Other than that, I do some field building work as the director of the Wisconsin Area Safety Initiative. I do some Pathfinder entry, and like I guess I am not just my work. I grew up in Minnesota as a swimmer, and what else is there to me? I don't know. I feel I once had this. I still have this like broad interest in many things, but I've just honed down so much that like some of my self identity has become tied to like this set of work. So when I'm prompted to describe myself, the way I describe myself is very different from how I used to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you focus your attention on will loop on itself and bloom.
That's so facts. Shout out Henrik Carlson. For real, for real.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost like the design process that I've like put my life into.
there you go. Constant iteration.
So true. Yes, this is another thing I'm a big believer in is having strong beliefs, weakly held, expressing them, updating them constantly. This is one of like the biggest things I've learned of just how to be more effective is just to like say things all the time. Don't tie yourself into a particular set of beliefs you have at a certain time. Expect that they will change and be open to that and just like constantly improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing from this is the span of this conversation is really wide. We
Yes.
can go into your many varied research interests, and I know you could talk at length at each and every one of the topics you've just mentioned.
Mhm.
And we're also gesturing at this like wider thing where there's lessons you've learned over time, actually very quickly.
Yeah, it's like you've been in the last year that I've just like locked in. So
Yeah, which could itself be a good topic, just like the
yeah, I
lessons
think
you've
that's
learned.
pretty interesting to talk about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've like changed very dramatically over the like year over year. If I look back at myself over, I guess starting from maybe who I was like before my junior year of high school, I think year over year, each year after that, I've dramatically transformed, and especially this past year has been like a particularly large shift. I think that could be maybe interesting to unpack a little bit.
Why don't we start with that? Like,
Sure.
what's the origin story, and then we'll take pit stops every year, I suppose,
Yeah.
to talk about it.
So like growing up, I was always the like science nerd kid. I read books. I think I like peaked in fourth grade. I was crazy in fourth grade. Like I might have been AGI in fourth grade. I remember like I don't know going to school and like sort of knew everything that was being covered in class. So I would like pull up and read. I read this book on like nuclear physics, I think in fourth grade, and I thought that was really interesting. I mean, like very basic stuff, whatever. But like, I think the title is like "Science You Need to Know to Be the President," something like this. Um, and there were like many other things when I was younger that just like really made me interested in sort of science. So like a dream of mine has always been to be a scientist. I don't think that I thought it would end up looking the way that it looks now, but I think like the job that I am coming into is like I am a scientist in a lot of ways. It's a very different type of scientist than the one I'd ever heard of back then. But so kind of going through that, I don't know. I was like quite shy, very introverted, which like seems different from how I am now. Which is so it's interesting to see how that's changed. But um, yeah, I switched school districts going to middle school. That was like very different, very good. I think the school district I was at in high school was much more, or in high school was much more like academically focused, well resourced. I could do, yeah, I did a lot of different classes. I was really, really interested in physics for a long time. I enjoyed chemistry, I enjoyed biology, I enjoyed math. But sort of then COVID happened. That was a whole thing. It actually wasn't like the worst for me personally. I think I was like relatively lucky to come out of it without family. Um, having suffered too much, and we were in a place where we could, like didn't get jobs disrupted. People could work from home. It was all like very lucky, but it was still an interesting time. I think even then I was like a, starting to feel a little bit more self confident, but like still very shy, very quiet, this sort of thing. But throughout all this time, I'd been like swimming, and that started to become a bigger part of my identity, especially throughout high school. Was like the swim team. This was sort of the community I built. Um, sort of this thing of like rocking up every day. Like, what's the phrase? Like, the opposite of discipline is doubt, or you have some phrase like this. And like just this thing of every day I know I'm going because I know I'm going with like my friends, the people we're like striving for this thing. We were a good team, never the best team, but like we were very good. So it was this cool thing of that, and I think through that I started to build some more of this like feeling of like discipline and also leadership. I started lifeguarding over the summers, which I think was like also actually a pretty big part of my identity. Um, and like I think doing that made me like, okay, I'm suddenly in this position where like, yes, most of the time it's like not that serious. Like I'm sitting at a beach, whatever. I don't want to act like I was like going off to war, but it was like, okay, there are times where like genuinely what you do can be life and death, and it's like you have to sort of like take that responsibility seriously and lead that way. And then I think like throughout that, I started to like kind of like manage there, become a lead there, and then like this made me suddenly like, or I started to feel a little bit more like, okay, I can actually like do some of this leadership thing, feel confident that way, feel confident in myself, feel confident in my skills. Um, and then my senior year with swimming, I sort of started to transform a lot because I like wanted, or my junior year I like wanted to become a captain. My senior year, so I sort of like pushed myself to like be very social, talk to everyone, talk to a lot of the younger kids, sort of like position myself to be viewed as a leader. And I think a lot of that looks like leading by example. I don't think I like had great formal leadership skills. I was not particularly inspirational, whatever, but like I rocked up and I tried. And I think like in that I started to view myself as like, okay, I can like be a leader of people, set a good example, this sort of thing. Um, so I like started to like but I was still very like socially anxious to some extent, like not massively, but somewhat like it didn't feel like a comfortable thing, but it felt like a thing that like, okay, I'm going to do this, I like can lead in this domain, but I don't think it like transferred over to um, professional or academic at the time, so I was still sort of like unsure there. But I was like broadly interested in many things. I didn't know what I wanted to do exactly. I started looking for colleges. I applied to several. I got into UW Madison and the University of Minnesota, um, and I decided to come to UW Madison. So that's where I sort of was in high school. I was like had started doing some leadership things. Didn't know what I wanted to work on. I thought going into college I was maybe going to do computer science, was something that I was always interested in. I thought I was going to do biology as well, and I thought I was going to do Spanish. And this is now very different, but I think that's sort of where I was at the end of high school.
The Spanish thing is not something I've heard of. I think what's happening here.
Uh, I don't know. I like did well in my high school Spanish classes, I guess, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, people tell me that like knowing another language makes you more employable, and like it's also just like a kind of cool different way of thinking. And I was like, sick, I'm gonna do that. That seems good. Wow, look how well rounded and many classes I'm gonna take. um, and that was sort of my mindset going in. I took the placement exam. I was like, wow, I got placed into like fifth level Spanish. I must be kind of know what I'm doing. And the very first class period, I showed up and everyone else was fluent. And I was not. I was not even remotely fluent. I mean, I sort of knew this going in, but then I was like, wow, the like first assignment was like we had to at the end of class we had to write like a 3 paragraph thing about like some like political or economic event that we'd like seen in the news, and I was like reaching for this, and I realized like, oh, the vocabulary, like it's just not there. Like I'm not here for this. So I was like, okay, do I try to switch down to a easier class? Whatever. I talked with the professor. He was like, yeah, I think if like this is hard, you're not gonna do well in this class. And I was like, this was the sort of first time I'd like encountered a class where I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. I was like, that's weird. Uh, so then I dropped it and dropped my Spanish major and thought I was gonna do bio-CS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see certainly coming into college, you certainly had that wide breadth of
Yeah.
academic interests.
I was like not suffering from the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do, not because I like didn't want to do anything, but it was just like I wanted to do everything. I still think this sometimes, although I think this less just because I'm so like heads down now, but like I wish I could live hundreds of lives to just like learn all the things, experience all the things. I don't know. There's like some like melancholy to the fact that I only get to live one life. I mean, you know, ideally if we lock in, we can live for many lives worth of traditional human lifespan, but still, it's like this one experience and not many.
Yeah. I've got one friend who runs a podcast on that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Or rather, he interviews people that are doing that stuff. So I'll send that to you after.
That'd
I'll
be
also
very
put
cool.
in the link.
Yeah.
Or I'll put in the description. But to the point of, yeah, there is a melancholy and, oh man, there's all these things I could do. I also think there's a joy in, like, of all the things I could have done, I'm choosing this one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm extremely happy with where I've ended up. Like it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've set up Will version 1, like growing into leadership a little bit, but he still has to try to be social.
Yeah.
A wide breadth of academic interests, and maybe hitting his first roadblock of, okay, there are things I can't do.
Yeah.
Spanish-wise.
Yeah. I was also the procrastinator of all time in some respects. Like I was like insanely good at like getting schoolwork done, but like anything else in my life was like kind of brutal. Applying for jobs, applying for college, these sorts of like long horizon tasks could not do. So that's another thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's where I was going into college. So I go in. I also took linguistics my first semester. I actually enjoyed that a lot. But I think like one of the like dominant narratives of my freshman year was my dorm. I was in Cole. I was on the third floor. That was like this insane experience of, okay, I'm living with like 50 plus people that all of a sudden I'm like friends with so many of them and I'm getting to know so many people. And like UW-Madison is not by any means the most diverse school in the world. Yet it's still like, okay, we're pulling from, I don't know, there was a guy that grew up in the Middle East. There was people that grew up literally in every corner of the country. There was someone from Florida and someone from Seattle, and there was someone from California and someone from Boston. And it was like, okay, this is like suddenly I'm in this kind of like new world of like, you know, I grew up in like a decent size suburb in Minnesota, but like didn't have that much access, like that much exposure to people of different backgrounds. So that was like very cool. Yeah, I made an insane amount of friends and suddenly became like, I don't know, it started to feel like much more social. Like, oh, I can just like talk to people about anything. I like have this broad range of interests, so I can sort of like mesh with anyone. Have this like really big friend group, and it was really really cool. And yeah, so that was going on, and then I was in my like intro CS class. That was another thing. And then there was this littler thing that I didn't realize would, upon reflection, feel like the like chief narrative of it all. But as I was like sort of looking for community, one thing I did is I joined the UW swim club. That I didn't stick with for very long because we practiced 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Oh God.
And it was at the Nick, and I lived in Lakeshore, so that was like a 30-minute walk each way. So that was a 3-hour commitment and like the team didn't have the same feeling of like, because it's just like this was kind of just like a club team for people that just wanted to stay in shape a bit. It didn't have the same feeling of like striving for something. So I sort of started to feel this thing of like, okay, swimming was like this kind of like pillar of my life that was like, this was the thing towards which I was striving a lot of the time. Like, yes, school, learning, academics, whatever, but like, striving with a team towards this like common goal was like this beautiful thing that I had that like was a very dominant part of my life. And suddenly I had like this thing that was like nominally supposed to do the same thing but wasn't. That's one thing. As I was also looking for community, I went to the Student Org Fair and I saw this purple booth that said AI. I was like, I've heard of AI. I did a little research project that didn't work at all, but like looked impressive to my English teacher who was leading the research class in high school of like, let's train a neural net to try to predict pseudorandom number generators that are generating like bitwise outputs. And I got 51% bitwise accuracy, which technically over the like hundreds of thousands of bits I was sampling was a statistically significant result. So of course I was like, wow, the probability that I get this right this way is like basically zero. So like, look, I've clearly done the thing. I did not know what I was doing at all. That was a terrible project. It was not even like in concept a good project at all. There was somehow like some work in doing this, because like, but no, it was a miserable project. But that was like what I knew about AI going in. I was like, okay, but I saw this purple booth, the word AI, and then I sort of stopped reading. Went up and talked to them a little bit. I was like, okay, this seems cool. I'll go to the like intro meeting. And then they start talking about some AI safety. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, seems maybe interesting. There's pizza here. That's cool. My roommate and I went, Inba, to the intro. And when I look back at those photos, I'm like, oh, I recognize a lot of those people now. Of course, like, they're people I know very well. But Benjamin, who is now our dear friend, not to spoil the story, but, he gave this talk that was, frankly, it was okay. Like, it gave good information, perhaps could be packaged in a bit more of an interesting way, but like, they started talking about, hey, like, actually AI stuff is going really fast. And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of ChatGPT. Like, this seems like kind of crazy. What's happening there? It's like, no, actually, like, this is like part of some broader trend of like AI capabilities are going up a lot. And I was like, okay, I'll sign up for the intro program. This, like, sure. Put this on my resume, whatever. So I started going to those. Frankly, the meetings were boring. Like, they were really interesting from a technical perspective, whatever, the readings, but like, and the group I had was great, but just like the way the way that things were structured was like not super fascinating. Was not very conducive to like great discussion, whatever. But I was like sticking with it. So all this other time, like looking back, this is like the thing that was core, but like at the time it felt like kind of just like a little thing. I was also doing robotics. I forgot that I did robotics. That was crazy. That was a side quest.
Was this a drone thing?
This was the drone thing.
Yeah, I remember we were talking, I think.
I was spending like 6 to 8 hours a week on this, and upon reflection it was kind of stupid because like the rest of the team was all seniors, and like they were good at what they did, but they all had jobs and like didn't really like jobs coming up or like grad school or whatever. They didn't really like care that much, weren't trying that hard, and like I wasn't really learning that much. I was just kind of like trying to muddy through it, and we never really got things working. Sort of, we tried to set up like GPS, and we had GPS, but then GPS isn't accurate enough, so we had to do like centimeter level accuracy by like correcting for the errors in GPS, and that was a whole thing, and blah blah blah. I never really got to do any of the ML stuff that I wanted to do with computer vision because we never got the drone to freaking fly where we wanted to in the first place. So that was a whole thing. We also had to tie a string to the drone because the drone escaped a lot. So we had a leash. So that was like...
You out walking your drone at night?
Exactly. It was. Well, it was like freezing cold middle of winter. We're out there standing in the field which no longer exists, by the engineering building with our like string on the drone, and then it starts like flying off, and we're like, like trying to pull it down. And like, So that was the whole thing. That felt like a bigger deal at the time than like the AI safety stuff did. Because I was just like spending more time on it, whatever. And I was like, I did robotics in like middle school. Yeah, I did robotics in middle school. So I was like, oh, this is like a continuation of earlier things. Maybe I'm gonna like keep doing this kind of like computer vision thing. But that experience was kind of horrible, so I ended up quitting that. But I did it for like the whole of my freshman year. Um, but then yeah, so I'm like starting to feel like a bit more confident in myself. Still not like totally sure what I want to do. I start thinking like, okay, it seems like CS is really the thing I want to do. Bio is maybe like I didn't really do bio classes my first semester, and then I was just sort of like looking at like, okay, how many classes would I actually have to do to graduate? And I'm like, I kind of feel like not taking 18 credits every semester, and just like dying. Like Sam Czar, God bless him. He's CS bio. I don't know why he does this to himself. I mean, he's incredible, but like, man, it's a lot of work. So I was like kind of reflecting upon this and felt less excited about this. So then I dropped bio as well, and I was like looking for another thing. I added data science, whatever. But like, yeah, the semester was going on, and I was like getting increasingly interested in the AI safety thing. I thought like, okay, it's actually like pretty maybe compelling, and like seems like it might matter. But then in my usual like sort of procrastinator-ish way, I was like kept putting off applying to like continue with stuff. And then like on the very last day, Ben like DM'd me and was like, "Hey, I think you would be really good. You should like apply for this thing." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll apply for the thing." And then I applied for the thing. I also applied for leadership. I was like pretty interested. I think I'm maybe like understating the extent to which I was like interested at this time. Like I was pretty interested, but like I was like not certain of it. It wasn't like how I was like viewing my whole self around this whatever. But then like, yeah, I joined the technical team and started leading my own cohort and started joining the both the originally just the technical, but then also it was later the policy like reading groups that we do, safety scholars.
Is this spring semester?
This is spring
freshman year?
semester. So yeah, we're there now. I've like started to like come out of my shell more, feel a little bit more like yeah, I had a lot of friends. It was nice, whatever. But then like this started to feel increasingly like okay, this is actually the thing I'm doing. Like what is robotics? What is all this other stuff? Like okay, this seems like this maybe matters. I'm like not super sure, but it's really interesting. I really like the people. I enjoyed going to like I think it was I in your scholars group?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I was. I
Yeah.
remember like
Because the first
Abukta
time we
and
ran scholars, yeah, it was
Ethan and
Sam was in
Inba,
there.
Sam,
Studi.
Studi. It's kind of a squad.
It was a squad.
It's kind of a squad. Yogesh? Or,
I don't know if Yogesh was in mine.
yeah, I can't remember.
There was
Amukta. I don't think was Andy in that, or was
Andy's
Andy
not
later?
around.
Yeah,
that
Andy was
time.
later. Shout out Andy.
Andy's later generation.
So true. So true.
I saw there's like another name, but I'm forgetting.
I mean, Ethan was there. Inba. I don't know. I can't remember. But like, so I started doing that, and this it's like starts to become much more of a thing. I'm like, I don't know, being in those discussions and like seeing that like, okay, this is a thing that people can take seriously. And it's like, probably seems like it actually matters. I started to like take this much more seriously, and this has started to be how I view. I was still like not certain I wanted to do this as a career or anything, but I was like, okay, this feels like a real thing. And leading my own cohort was like weird and hard. It felt very awkward a lot of the time. I was like not that good at it, but I was like, I think it was like a really valuable learning experience to try to do. I go through that, whatever. And then sort of after that semester, I don't know. At this point, like I was pretty in. Like I was like, okay, this seems like something I really want to explore. I remember then you and Ben kind of talked to me and to Inba about like, okay, us as ops leads, and this was like felt like wow, like I've been like selected to do the thing. Like whoa, this is cool. And then so I started doing a little bit of that work, but then like the main thing over the summer, I was still lifeguarding. This was like a year and like 3 months ago or something. I was still lifeguarding. Like I was like I started working at like different the place I was lifeguarding before like shut down, but then like I started working here. I was like, okay, this is like still something. I was like lifeguarding part time, and it's like weird to think that that was like only like a year and a little bit ago, and now I like don't think about that at all. But I remember like throughout the end of a summer of lifeguarding, you just like you like sleep, and you're like still like scanning the water. You know, you're just like because I was working a lot. But then that summer I did Arena. Arena is so fantastic. Arena is what like started to make everything click for me. It's this like research training program kind of thing. Um, it was like it's an incredible thing they put together. The resources are fantastic. It really helps you also just like understand why do we like at a deep level like what are we doing here? What does this research feel like? And that was like I I did that over the summer as I was like also working part time, and like that got me hooked. I was like, oh, this is like maybe a thing I like. This is what I should do possibly. Like wow, I should like actually try at this. Um,
You didn't have the vocabulary for that though. This
I
is a
didn't.
later
This
introduction.
is a pre actual trying. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I started to feel like I was still like very uncertain in myself as a leader within this, but I was like, okay, I've learned a lot. I think I can like start emailing professor. I sort of like put this off for a bit, and then I went to like um, Ben and like Sean and them were all hosting office hours, and I
Over the
like
summer?
no, this is now we're like at the start of fall. So I
Okay.
start doing like ops lead stuff. I remember the biggest thing we planned was like the well, it was just like I was going to every meeting ever. I was going to like tech team. I was going to policy team. I was going to exec. I was like kind of felt like I was the person that was like the hub of all the things passing through, and like this meant that just like my like context on everything started like exploding, and I started just like I was going to like multiple reading groups. I was doing all this stuff like my and I was just like reading stuff all the time, and like it felt like my like context on things was exploding. I still didn't like fully get it, but like it was like whoa. So my world started expanding really fast. But I was still like, okay, I'm doing this stuff. I've done arena, whatever. I haven't like done research. And I felt like sort of uncertain about this, not sure about the process. I remember going to office hours with like Ben and Sean and Albert. I think I talked to all of them. I might have also talked to Ria, not sure. But going to those was like really great. They like, oh, look, a researcher. This is like the scientist that like little me was like, oh, these are scientists in a lot of ways. And so talking to them, they were like, yeah, just email, like read professor's stuff and like email them. I was like, that seems scary. But then I started going to, there's this talk series called Machine Learning Lunch Meetings.
Oh yeah. Chris's stuff.
Is it Chris? Is that the guy? I know it's one of Jerry's PhD students, but
Oh, I mean the emails that I get always say Chris
okay,
on top.
sounds like Chris then. Yeah, but
This might be something else actually. Never mind.
yeah,
There's many little
there's many little reading thingies, but or not reading thingies. Like presentation lecture series. That's the word. Is that the word? Whatever. Um, but so I went to one of those. At this time, I was very one of the big sections of Arena was like interpretability, like understanding the internal models. I was really interested in sparse autoencoders. This was sort of when they were like the hot thing.
They
I
were
was
the
like,
hot thing.
whoa, sparse autoencoders, like there's like superposition, like you have like more features than dimensions that you want to represent, and like the features are sparse because we don't expect that like a text is both like a poem and a Python program, although you could do that, but like wow, so like they're probably only going to have like some of these features activating at a time. What algorithms can you learn to like compress those features? Whoa, you compress those features and you end up with polysemantic neurons that correspond to a bunch of things. But then we can use dictionary learning methods and like sparse autoencoders, which have the L1 sparsity penalty, because now I've taken linear algebra and I understand, and I'm in 532, which is like the matrix method thing. So I'm like, whoa, I understand why that like pushes us towards sparsity. This is so crazy. This must be the future. This is how we're going to understand what's going on. So I was like, whoa, sparse autoencoders. And like, whoa, interp. Whoa, induction heads. Like, there's like this cool induction heads paper. And then, so then I'm going to like these lunch, these like talks. And I'm like, ah, these are cool. But like, I don't know that this is my thing. And then I remember going to one and like, it was probably like early October, middle of October kind of thing. Early October, I think. And Ben was there, and it was like Professor Yichao Zhang, Joe, as he is now known.
Shout out, Joe.
Shout out Joe. Joe gave this cool talk about like I don't honestly remember all the details of it, but it was like induction heads, and then he was talking about like future directions. He was like, "Oh, I'm like pretty interested in sparse autoencoders and what's going on there." And he was like, "Oh yeah, throughout like another thing I was interested in was like this grokking phenomenon where like you're training a model, and then all of a sudden as like even though the like test or the like train loss doesn't seem to change that massively, like in the middle as sort of like your train loss is like sort of plateaued. All of a sudden you see this like phase transition in your test loss where like suddenly your test loss goes way down. It's like what is happening there? And he had some cool paper that was like pretty similar to one that Anthropic put out, but like slightly different. He had this like subspace bridge hypothesis of like how induction heads were working. I don't really remember the details. It's like this sort of like mathy geometry theory that, spoiler alert, I'm no longer as interested in. But I was like, whoa, this is so sick. I remember Ben just looking at me like this is like, cause like I've been talking to Ben about stuff, and like he was like,
I think
looking at
this
me.
was this the one where you came to me afterwards and you were like, "Wow, I got like this is the most amazing thing ever. I'm talking to this professor now."
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. So I talked to him. I talked to him like right after the talk, and I like had a lot of idea. I honestly have no idea what my ideas were at the time. I'm sure they were pretty terrible, but like, well, maybe they weren't. They probably were. But like, I was like, wow, this is like exactly the kind of work I'm interested in. I'm really interested in this. Then I like emailed him. I was like, hey, your work seems really cool, but I was also like really scared to do this. So like I read a bunch of his papers, and I was like, I remember sending this, and then sort of not hearing back for like a day or two. And then I remember actually my parents came down to visit Madison, and they were like, we were like up in their hotel room or whatever, and I was like refreshing my email, and then I saw like the email back from, or no wait, oh I skipped a step, I totally skipped a step, or no wait, maybe this was before. Oh no, it was okay. He was like, yeah, well, like it was good to chat with you, whatever. I think these ideas are really interesting. I'd like love to like meet and like talk about this more. And we went to what's the like the coffee shop on like the Discovery Building?
Yes.
Yeah, like that like first floor
Aldo's
thing.
Cafe?
Yeah, Aldo's. We like set up a time to like meet there, and then I remember I like got there early. I was like so nervous. I was like, I'm meeting a professor. Like his work is so cool. I'm like, wow. I remember I got there like early. I got like a hot chocolate or something just so I like felt like I had a thing, because I was like, oh, I was all nervous about like, am I gonna? They're gonna be mad that I'm just sitting at a table. So like, I'm gonna go get thing. I don't drink coffee or tea or anything, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get hot chocolate, and then I'm like super nervous, like, ooh, this is crazy. And then like he shows up and he's like super nice guy, great. We had a good discussion. I said some random BS about sparse autoencoders. Like, look at the stuff I did. I did Arena, and I was like super nervous. I got all like dressed up for this, and I was like, oh, I'm meeting professor. This is crazy. Yeah, it's funny if you like think about how it is now. But like I was like, wow, this is crazy. So then that meeting went really well, and then I remember I get the email from him later. This might have actually been the email that I got with my parents. I can't remember which email I got when, but like I remember there's the thing of you probably remember some like false clarity, whatever. But like I remember getting this email, and it was like, yes, Will, I'd love to work with you. Like, welcome to the lab, whatever. And I was like, whoa, holy cow, I get to do research now. And then actually what ended up happening is there's a PhD student, Ria, who worked with Joe on this project. Also, I think she usually works with Junji. And like she was the one that I actually went to go work under. And we had all these like great ideas about we're going to like figure out the emergence of generalization capabilities during pre-training, and like it's going to be really sick. We're going to like do some like PCA on things, and we're gonna find like these geometric directions that like correspond to the emergence of generalization or something. I don't really remember. It was like a pretty cool idea, I thought. I mean, I didn't really know, but like I thought it was cool. And then I was bad at doing research, turns out, or like didn't know what I was doing. Like I had some ideas, but then one thing that took forever was like we needed GPUs, right?
Dude, I had the exact same experience. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, you need GPUs. So okay, well, there's this thing on campus called what is it called?
High throughput computing.
Yeah, CHTC, the Center for High Throughput Computing. Which turns out one problem. they thought we were gonna need a lot of like int 64 and int 128 and int maybe even int 256 performance to do all of our scientific computing workloads. So we have 20,000 CPUs. So we can do a lot of CPU workloads. Turns out there's this crazy thing that happened called deep learning, where actually it turns out that all you need is a bunch of GPUs, which are different than CPUs and do a lot of parallel processing of smaller numbers. They are really good at FP16 and FP8 workloads. And it turns out we spent all of our money on this other thing. So actually we only have like 8 H100s and like we have like maybe 30 A100s, and it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. But this was not the main problem. The main problem is I don't know how Docker works at the time. I have not taken CS544, which taught me how Docker works. I was like, I need to make Docker files to tell the machine my workload. I don't really understand what's happening here. And this was most of what I spent the semester on. And that was kind of sucked. That kind of sucked, to be honest. And I was like, oh, that's sad. That's very sad. So that was like kind of a sad research. Not really, yeah, it was just like I didn't get as much done and the project didn't go really anywhere because I couldn't figure out how to do this stupid thing. And then like there was just a lot of other stuff that I was like conceptually confused about. But yeah, by this time, like I've spent a semester as ops lead, like as this is
being end of
like the first semester of my sophomore year. I've spent like the semester being ops lead. I feel like way more confident doing this now. Like I've been going to all these meetings, my context is exploding. Like I have like way more ideas. I'm like realized that I kind of am not that good of a researcher in this specific thing, or like it wasn't a good fit, or I wasn't interested, or I kept like putting it off, whatever. So this particular project didn't go well, but like I felt way more like I don't know, started to feel like different. Like, and by this time I was like pretty confident this is what I want to do as a career. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm like actually trying here now. So it's like a lot of growth and change happened there. From if you look at like if you kind of look at like 2022 to 2023, when I go, wait, is that how years work? I think that's how years work, where I go from like high school into college. You know, I've like changed what I want to do. I've started to like find a little bit of a niche, whatever, this kind of thing. Then like another year from that, I'm like now like I'm a real leader within like Wazy, and like I'm a researcher now, if a bad one, whatever. So that's where we are at the end of, I guess this was the end of 2024. Yes. At this time, I thought that I was going to graduate in 3 years. Also is another thing. I was like, okay, I can graduate early. I'm going to do CS and DS, whatever. I'll get out into grad school or the job market, whatever. Then like the next semester starts. Oh, actually, over winter break, an important thing happened. Lovely guy Reed, who's appeared on the podcast in the past, has been talking to the Center for AI Policy, which is a DC-based like advocacy and policy org, and they're doing this cool thing that they tell us about of having different college teams put together like workshops, or not workshops, put together like demonstrations to present to Congress or like congressional staffers, and we're like, wow, that seems really sick. And so this turns out to have been actually a really big deal. It didn't feel like as big of a deal at the time, but it was like a cool thing. We're like working on this. So like, I think we split into 2 groups, right? You were the other one. It was you, Jackson. Who else was there? Sam. You guys kind of a
Mason.
crazy squad.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
Well, like it was also kind of goats.
It was
like,
kind of goaty.
dang. And then it was me, Ben, Max, and Reed. And then Blaine was helping us for a little bit, but then Blaine
Dropped off.
got busy because grad student. But Ben wrote up, you know how Ben is. Ben produces 1 million Google Docs and like is the most prolific writer of all. Well, one of the more prolific writers I've ever seen. He came up with like 12 different ideas, and we were like talking through all of them. And the one that we landed on, just sort of because we thought it was interesting, was like this idea of like, okay, there's prompt injections where you attack a single agent. What if you like prompt inject one agent to then prompt inject the next agent? At the time, I don't think anyone had actually done this. Later on, it turns out that like people did papers on. Actually, maybe the papers had come out by that time, and we just like didn't find them because we're bad. But like, anyways, we were like, oh, this seems like pretty interesting. This seems like this like passes on some good intuitions to the policymakers about like, hey, there are these prompt injection risks, security risks. Also, it's like whatever you give the whole system access to is like of concern. But like, I don't know. I didn't like think too deeply about the thing. But then we spent time doing that, and then we like, yeah, that was turned out to be a lot of work, as most things tend to be. Like planning fallacy, sort of double however long you think something's gonna take, and then you're like a quarter of the way there or something. But we did a lot of work there, and we got that working. It was kind of sketch, but like that was really cool. And then we went to, so we like recorded the video of it, whatever we submit, and we get accepted to go to DC, and I'm like, holy cow.
I remember you guys got your acceptances first. And I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, man.
I was like, oh, I wanted us all to go.
Yeah.
And then you guys got your thing.
Then we got ours.
But that was like, oh, wait, is this real? This seems real. And then we go to, at this time, like, I'm feeling pretty confident in myself. Like, within Wazy, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know exactly when you guys thought that, like, okay, Will's probably the successor. But, like, maybe it was around sort of that time when I'd spent, like, a semester as ops lead. When, do you remember when you guys started thinking about this?
To be honest, unlike now where we're constantly thinking about succession was not something we had actively thought about.
I guess because you also had, like, 2 years left or
this
something.
was also the idea.
Yeah.
But
Wait, did you have 2 years left at that time, or was it 1?
it was
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, okay.
Then, yeah, I was thinking about. I mean, just looking at the roster is like pretty clear, like
Yeah.
who the choice is.
I was so bad at delegating. Also, holy cow, I just
remember
did
this.
everything ever. That was abysmal.
I mean, delegating is really hard.
Yeah.
Um,
Many things of leadership are very hard.
yeah, but you learn a lot doing it. So.
Dude, you learn so much. You learn so much. I feel like there's like several narratives that I'm like trying to walk through at a time. It like could be whatever. I could have done this in a more like narratively good way, but whatever.
That's my job. It's my job. You
Wow.
just do your thing.
I just yap. So that's happening. Then we go to DC, and this is really cool. And Will Panda?
Sorry, someone sent a panda emoji.
Who sent the panda emoji?
Mr. Sam.
Sam Baumel.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sam B, aka the A/B tested version of Sam A.
We're in DC.
We're in DC. Oh, Sam was in DC. So yeah, DC was really cool. I met Gaurav Set, who works at Rand, briefly. I met whoever that one guy is that works at Anthropic that tweets a lot. You know the guy? I think he's at Anthropic. Actually, I don't know where he ended up. He was at CMU. Ben's friend from Twitter.
No,
I can't think of his name.
Google DeepMind.
No, well, because there was like, it's like Anuja's co-organizer. Back in the day.
It's not. Wait. Oh, I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
The representation engineering guy.
Yeah.
Let's just look up the paper.
So facts, actually. Wait.
I feel bad.
Wait, I should like so know this guy. He's a cool guy.
He is.
Not Andy Zier.
No.
But James
James.
Campbell. James Campbell. I met James Campbell.
Shout out James Campbell.
I met Thomas Woodside from the Secure AI project. I met Yishang, though I didn't like really talk to him or realize that much. I remember talking to Andrew. Andrew was cool.
Who?
Andrew Way?
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. I heard a different name.
Oh, yeah. Andrew Way from, so all these guys from Georgia Tech. I remember I met did I meet Atarv? Was he there? I think he was there.
Yes, he was there with
Yes.
the brown team.
Yeah, they had the one that like
They
you
had to like
you
offset it.
you couldn't look at it unless you were a congressional staffer because they had some like kind of scary bioweapon stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember going there, and just like meeting all these people, and like realizing, hey, this is really cool, and like this is a whole ecosystem. There was the people from Civ AI. I remember the like. Can I say this? Oh yeah, I remember like people like the buzz was in the air that like Claude 3.7 Sonnet or something was coming out, and people were like, wow. And then I was like, whoa! I just like got the advanced warning on this, and then like later in the day, like I got the like news article. I'm like, whoa! I'm so like plugged into the ecosystem, man. This is crazy. But then I remember also like going to like the social mixer thing, and like it was terrifying. Like I was like, what am I doing here? Like, do I really belong here? And that was like, I don't know. That was like my first experience with like, cause like I'd sort of like been in the Wisconsin space, but I like had never at all interacted with like the broader AI safety space besides just like reading stuff and watching stuff. And so like being there both made that feel real and made me realize or made it feel like I was also like really scared and wasn't sure like I knew these were my people, but I was like not sure if I fit in yet. Which is also interesting. Like this was not that long ago either. This was like 9 months ago maybe, and to think that like I felt that way now is really funny. But going to DC was like, yeah, I don't know. It felt like it legitimized everything that we were doing in some way. And then we come back and like there's like posts about it and whatever, and it's like, oh, we like this is real. And Wazy started to feel like much more real. I don't know. There's like this trajectory that started to just kind of take off, and then like if you look at where we've gone now, but yeah, doing that. Then I was like throughout this whole year, I'd sort of like been applying for stuff. Oh, this reminds me of this other story that I forgot about. Like in my fall of sophomore year, I was looking for jobs, and I was applying. I applied to Honeywell. I remember they had an ML thing. I remember I applied to GE Healthcare, and actually the reason I applied to GE, I remember I applied to Epic, I applied to some of these other places, and I was like really scared and like handing them my resume. I'm like, I don't know. I wish I have like an old copy of my resume somewhere. It's funny to look at like also how that's changed. But there was this thing where like student org leaders could go early to the career. There was like this pre-career fair like mixer thing where some of the recruiters were there. I remember I talked to like a guy from like Cat Digital. I talked to Matt Grubis. Shout out Matt Grubis. I talked to Matt Grubis, who is like a senior engineer at GE Healthcare, and like this was terrifying to talk to these people. I was like so nervous, whatever. Didn't feel confident in myself. It's just funny to like contrast that with now, but like, yeah, I just remember going to these places and then like applying to some stuff, but I was getting rejected from everything. I was like, oh God, am I gonna have another summer of lifeguarding?
Spoiler alert, he didn't.
Yeah, I was like, oh, am I fake? What am I doing? Like, do I know anything? Am I bum? What is happening? But then I guess also throughout this whole like second semester, I was taking the worst class schedule of all time. It was like abysmal. I was taking algorithms, I was taking 354, I was taking 544, and I was taking probability theory.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
It was kind of nasty, and I was also doing research. Throughout this semester, then I started actually working with Joe directly. This was a whole other thread. So many things happened in the last year. It's like insane to go back and unpack. But while we were in DC, I remember I was also part of the reason why I like was not feeling good throughout DC was because I was like super stressed because I had this research fellowship, the sophomore research fellowship that like seemed like a big deal that like, which in hindsight, but like I had to like finish my application for it with Joe, and I like did not have that thing done. And so like we were on like the last day of it, and I was working on that, stressing. We came up with this pretty cool idea actually, I think, of like trying to do more robust benchmarking by like doing like structured randomization to the prompts, because like there's some results out of the Apple ML group, although like I don't know how much I trust some of the Apple ML stuff that's come out, but like that like models are like weirdly sensitive to like small changes in these things and these kind of things. So we were like, oh, we're gonna like understand this. We're gonna do like tree level things. We'd done some preliminary work already, so I was applying for this thing, and like I had procrastinated the crap out of that. And it was like on the very last night. And then I remember we're coming back from to get to DC. We drove to Chicago, and then flew from there. And I remember like
Wait, were you doing this in the car?
I was doing this not only in the, I was doing this like in the airport on the way.
Okay.
Then I was doing this. I paid for Wi-Fi on the plane. I was doing this. I had my Overleaf open, like writing stuff, and then like I land, and I'm still working on this in the car. And then Joe messages me at like 10:30. He's like, "Hey, remember this thing is due?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm working on it, man." And then he is amazing and like hopped in the dock in the last like hour before it's due and was just like co-writing stuff with me while I was in the car.
The actual goat.
Like and then it was like 11:59 p.m. It's due at 11:59 p.m. and I press submit. Whatever. I'm like, "Oh my god, that was horrible." I think that's the last time I've like procrastinated super badly on some. Not the last time. Never mind. There's one more time where I procrastinated really badly on something. But other than that, I think I've like somewhat gotten over the procrastination monkey a bit. Oh, you know the Tim Urban procrastination monkey thing?
Yes.
Yeah, the panic monster. The panic monster doesn't need to come out as much now. I mean, I can like lock in before a meeting if I need to, but like become less of a thing. It's more so now just I'm so busy that like I'm constantly bouncing between things. But I digress, as I often do. So I finished that thing. I end up getting that later, which is cool, but I'm like, okay, is this what I'm doing for the summer? Like, okay, I'm probably not lifeguarding, as I realize once I get this. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna work for $3,000 for the next 6 months on a project that's like kind of interesting. My tastes have changed now. I don't find that project particularly interesting now. But like, sure, okay, this is my like plan, but I still haven't gotten any like internships or anything. I've been applying for stuff, and I'm just like, oh, am I just like not gonna make it, man? Like doing research with a professor felt like a big step up, but at the same time, it felt like I was still like very demoralized by applying for things. But there's this one last thing that has its applications open, which is pretty cool. Also, around this time, you guys start to talk to me about becoming the next director. I don't know. The timelines of all these things like blur together, but like that's pretty cool. I'm like, wow. I'm like, hoorah. Yeah, that was cool. But there's this one last thing that's like got applications that I also ended up submitting at like 11:50 something. U Chicago has this program called the XLab Summer Research Fellowship, and I'm like,
Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
whoa, chat. Brittleness of LLM, no. But that's also a cool paper. I think that we maybe read it when I was working on that thing. No, I did not. We did not do this paper. This paper did not happen. Now reading back the chat, Matthew. That paper, like, could have been written by me, but it wasn't because we ended up not doing this idea, and I ended up doing other things, which were, but like I was kind of interested in this. Yeah, I'm like no longer interested in this particularly. So like going back to like put myself in. This is a whole other thing that I can. Well, okay, we'll get into that later.
Theme of this conversation.
Theme of this conversation is just a whole other thing. So I don't know. Like going back through the year 2025, I think it's just like a lot happened.
Wait, we're still in 2024 though, right?
No, we're not. We're in 2025. We've been in 2025. Remember the like spring.
Okay,
This
so
spring-
what happened in summer? Was you were just doing research here?
No. That was that summer. Summer 2024 was when I was lifeguarding and did arena.
Yeah. Oh right. Okay, we're summer
This
this
was
year.
summer
Duh.
20
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Summer 2025. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we're still in spring 2025, which is like you notice that like the density of things has started
Yeah.
to dramatically ramp up because I just like I don't know. You got to double every year, and the doubling also means you do a lot more stuff. But there's this program. I've been looking for some things. I like felt scared about applying. Secret other thing that I forgot about. I remember I applied for SPAR
You
in
did?
my spring of 24.
Oh my gosh.
Or
Were they
wait,
running
was that
summer
spring?
ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember like, oh, maybe I was more pilled than I remember being back then. But like, I remember applying and I was like, hey, I'm like pretty worried about this stuff. And it seems like, yeah, I don't necessarily have the skills yet, but like, I really want to make a difference here. And I got 2 interviews because like, I don't know how I got 2 interviews, to be honest. I guess I was doing, no, this was pre doing research. So I don't know how I got 2 interviews, but I got 2 interviews. And then I like got to like the technical part of each of them where I was like writing Python with these people. I think one of them was at Apollo. I could like find the guy's face and recognize him, whatever. But I had these 2 SPAR interviews. This was like spring of 24, and I got cooked. I was atrocious. I was like, I don't know how to code. Like it's actually over. So this was a whole that was like part of what made me want to do Arena, because they were both like, hey, you like are thinking about this stuff and like seem passionate, whatever, but you don't know what you're doing. You should do Arena. So then I did Arena and then like got somewhat better, but was still not that good. But yeah, wow, many such things that I've done in these past couple of years that it's hard to like step back through all of it. But so I did that, and then okay, we're back to spring of 25, and we've done DC, back, find out I'm gonna be director, still looking for things to do for the summer. I apply last day for the X Lab at UChicago Summer Research Fellowship. Don't think too much of it. I'm like trying to come up with a project proposal, and I'm like, what's a project that I could do? Oh, we did that like DC thing. That was kind of cool. Like we did a pretty basic bare bones demo. Like what if we like built that out, and I like built some benchmark to like compare different approaches at mitigating and different monitors for multi-agent systems. That could be interesting. I guess I'll do that. That seems easy to do for the application. So I do that, and I don't think that much of it. And then I get an interview. I remember the interview was like, if Zach ever watches this, Zach, you're amazing. I very much appreciate you. But Zach Rudolph, the deputy director of XLab, that interview, I had no idea if I was doing well or not. I was like, I sort of talked through my idea, and he was just like, huh, okay. Yeah, could you like tell me more about like how you want to measure this? And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, here's the ideas, whatever. And I was like, ooh, whew. I got out of that interview. I was like, well, guess I'm probably doing research at UW. And then I get in to XLab, and I'm like, wait. The door is suddenly open, and I'm like, maybe I didn't understand. I think I understood at the time. Like, I was like, whoa, holy shit. Because, like, you know, XLab isn't as premier as, like, MATS or whatever. But, like, it's, like, pretty competitive. And I'm like, I get into this thing, and I'm like, oh my God, it's all real all of a sudden. This is what I'm doing as a career. I know where I'm going. I mean, by this time I sort of knew that, but I'm like, I want to do this as a career, and like, I might be able to do it. Like, my like pea cooked, like dropped dramatically. I remember that spring, I was like talking with Joe about like, what's the chance I can get into grad school, these sorts of things. Because like, I thought like my senior year was like coming this fall, which like, because I was graduating in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then I was like, wow, I'm really cooked. I'm not getting any papers out. My research here isn't really working. I'm going to need to do 4 years.
Yes, this came up in director succession conversations too, because we thought you were going to go on for another year.
Yeah. And this is only like 6 months ago that this is happening. Something like this. Maybe a little bit. How long is a year? Yeah, okay, this is like 7 months ago. Maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh boy, I'm so cooked, man. And then I get XLab, and I'm like, I might not be cooked anymore. Wow. But this doesn't fully integrate yet. But then, like, I start doing some director-shaped things. I start thinking of myself as the director, whatever. And I have to find a mentor, and I'm reaching out to these different people. I email Christian Schrader DeWitt. No response. I email, I think, Sumit Motwani, maybe. No response. I'm like, oh, here's this really cool multi-agent guy, because I want to do a multi-agent project. I email Lewis Hammond. No response for 2 weeks. But then, as the XLab thing is starting and everyone else has their mentors, on that Tuesday, Lewis is like, yeah, we can meet to talk about this project. It seems interesting. And then I met with Lewis, and it was great. He was like, wow, I actually really like this idea. This is cool. I think I was thinking a lot about like steganography and like collusion at the time, and he was like, no. This is very cool, but no one in the world besides maybe Christian Schrader DeWitt has gotten this to work at all. I was like, yep. Okay, we'll not do that. Let me think about things. I come back the next week, and I like come up with. God, there's a lot of stories to tell at XLab, but like, we don't need to get into all of them. But like, I come back with this idea about like diffuse attacks that are hard for the agents to detect, whatever, and that's like what it ends up going with. But then also like while I'm at XLab, I'm like talking to all these other organizers and like, cause like all the other organizers were there. There's Yishang from GT, Yulin from Amherst. There was Atar from Brown. There was Olivia from Columbia. There was Joe from U Chicago.
Other
One
Joe.
of two other Joe. Joe Zhao. I mean, Joe Zhao's the goat. Like, shout out Joe Zhao. But like, who am I forgetting about? There's Jacopo. He's not an organizer, but like, he's cool. He's from Minerva. He's from Italy. He's a very Italian man. I need more Jacopo in me. Many such stories to tell. A great quote that he had was, we were eating the dining hall pizza, and he said like, you know, a good pizza, it is like making love, but this is just having sex.
Damn. What a searing indictment of Chicago pizza.
Yeah, he was my roommate. That was fantastic. But just like the whole experience, like, okay, I could like talk for the entire. I don't know how long have I been?
We've been
yapping?
here for an hour and 10 minutes.
I'm the yapper of all time. That's insane. But like I could go into like many hours of detail on Chicago, but it was just this unbelievably cool experience of all these speakers and like being in this group and like, holy shit, there's a community and like I am one of them and I fit right here and like these are my people and this is what I want to do and like I'm leading Wazy now virtually and like directing all these people and like I am the commander now and like whoa, holy cow, like the shift that happened over the summer was unbelievable, like unbelievably transformative experience. Genuinely, like it's so sick that they could put these kind of things on, like oh my god. And then also we signed Andy to many things happened that summer and like I come back and I'm just not the same person, like I'm like fundamentally something has unlocked and I like feel like a leader now and I feel like I can like do research and even though my stupid papers are still in progress, they're gonna happen. Like I just like there's this wow drastic difference that happened from being there and I think it's incredible that like what these sort of like high contact programs can like do to change people and like I've got friends that I will have for a lifetime and they're some of the people I'm like closest to in the world. It's like oh my god, what an experience, like so sick. Also I got to work with Lewis. That's pretty epic.
Before we move on,
yeah,
give me two really good stories
from
Chicago XLab.
Chicago.
Oh.
But 6-7.
Okay, shut.
I think that's the reference.
Yeah.
Two really good stories.
Just give me one.
Yeah,
That's the first one that
there's
comes to
so
mind.
many that like, we climbed a roof. That was pretty fun. That's very out of character for me, but we climbed a roof.
Okay, how about this? Since you have so many, you have 5 minutes to relay everything.
Wait, this is like, I have so many, but then I also have none. Because like so much of the experience was not these like particular stories, but it was just like
little moments
in the vibe of like going to the lake and like watching the sunset from the room. And there were like just like moments of laugh. We played poker with, we played way too much poker. That was degenerate. Holy cow. We played poker with, this is a great photo I have of us playing poker with cough drops because we like didn't have chips at the time. That was elite. we like went to the air and water show. That was cool. I remember we went to the like a bunch of different museums. There's this cool museum on campus, the like Smart Museum. It has this insane exhibit, which is like this box, but like any angle you look at the box from, it appears to have like infinite depth of like this field of stars. And like there's some wizardry with like partially transparent mirrors probably, but it's like just like going around this thing and like we're all like this is like in the first few days and we're like all losing our mind here and we're like oh whoa this thing is insane. But I just remember like all that stuff. It was just like yeah, these are my people. Also like shout out to Julian. Julian's incredible, one of the greatest GeoGuessr players in the world apparently. Like he was like top 5. But like that is far from the capturing Julian. Julian's this incredibly kind and cool person and like
What's the last name of this Julian?
Julian Huang.
Okay, never mind.
Also at U Chicago. But I mean the thing is not like particular moments that stand out. It's just like this unbelievable vibe of like togetherness and striving for this shared thing and like working together and like getting caught in the there's Daniel Allen. Daniel Allen's a beauty. There's Jay. I remember like every day I would swim with Daniel. That was really fun. I'm faster than him.
You just wanted to put that one on the record, huh?
Yeah, but like just like all these things of like yeah, there was it's
Yeah.
like it's I don't know. It's this like tapestry of things where it's like hard to pick out moments.
Yeah. I mean, you're conveying the vibe, I think.
Yeah. Let me think if there's like particular. Oh, there was a day where we're all like I think we're coming from a talk let's just have that. A talk that I think it was a Stephen Casper talk, which is sick by the way. Shout out Stephen Casper. He was like saying like oh, we don't need evidence-based policy. We need like evidence-gathering policy because like the thing is, if we demand a high evidence base for these sort of like risks that we're uncertain about, we're gonna like end up regulating only after disaster, and like this is probably not gonna work. We need to set up policy, like what the FDA has, where like you have to do nutrition labels, this sort of thing, like nutrition labels, but for AI, like get like things that the companies have to do disclosures and these sorts of things to like increase the evidence base available to policymakers, whatever. But like we're coming out of that and it starts absolutely pouring. And I remember Daniel like wearing a trash bag to like cover himself from the rain, but then like we're all walking and like I have like a rain jacket but like other people have umbrellas and stuff. I remember we're just like kind of shoving Dan because he's like stuck like this. We're kind of just like bouncing him between us and like also chasing him around, and it was just like this. I don't know, there were lots of moments where it's like oh yeah, these are all like great researchers and whatever, but it's like they're just people. Oh, there was this day where like there was like a double rainbow and it was like we were up on the top floor and it was just like we were just like running around manically like holy cow, the sky is so cool. And vibes. It was vibes. It was insane, immaculate vibes made of many small moments, and yeah, it was insane and like completely transformative.
What I'm hearing here is like ever since the start of this journey where you're like uncertain where you're heading up, oh, it might be Spanish, it might be bio, oh,
Yeah.
it might be like this kind of research. But even then, like, oh, this research with Joe isn't really going that well. I don't know
Yeah.
if it looks like that.
Yeah.
You just start building this confidence and stacking wins like DC. And then when you get to Chicago, it just cements. It's like, okay, these are my people. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I learned a lot and like I like yeah. It's prime. Absolutely prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're equipped with this newly unlocked mindset.
Yeah.
And a cool project. And you're now director of Wazy.
Yeah.
Here comes fall 25.
Fall 25.
What happens? Which is now.
It's now. So yeah, I mean, who knows what narrative I'll tell of this time in the future, but let's see. I'm still working on my project with Lewis, which is really sick. It's going well, but it's like a lot of work. I'm working on another project. I started another project with Joe, or like actually I guess technically it's continuing my project that I got the sophomore research fellowship for, but it's changed substantially. So I'm doing that. I'm start a project with Ria and Kaden. Kaden's my roommate. Um, oh, I forgot I did put Kaden through fundamentals. That was a whole lot. Okay.
Oh yeah, you did run this over the summer.
Yeah, I ran fundamentals over the summer. That was cool.
Yeah, your custom fundamentals.
Yeah, it was kind of baller, except for no one showed up besides Kaden. But like, well, the other people showed up sometimes, but not enough. But like, so I do that. But we start this project that's now going really well. There is a framework that is proposed to cause countries to be deterred from pursuing superintelligence. That my good friend Jay, who spent some time working at the Center for AI Safety, is in favor of and believes in. But I have a lot of questions, and so does Ria. Ria works on like nuclear deterrence stuff, and she's like, this doesn't feel like a deterrence framework. So that's a paper that we're doing now. We're working with a senior former defense official at ARI on this. It's like, MAME!
Yes,
MAME!
folks.
God, MAME.
You've got it, folks.
Yeah,
That is
so
the paper.
MAME. Holy, wait, actually, like, people are watching us. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, MAME. Oh, my MAME. Anyways, so we're writing a paper on that. That's another thing that I'm doing. I'm still working with Lewis. I'm still working with this other thing. I also like proposed to XLab to fund 2 projects for Wazy, which was a pretty cool thing. That worked. Shout out Andy's project. They're cooking. Shout out transferable adversarial materials, which Kaden crafted up in his mind, and then I helped polish, and then I handed it off to the absolutely goated team of Kaden, Max, Sam, and Cowstub, and they are cooking. And it sounds like a lot of painful synthetic data generation, but they are cooking, and it's like, also Andy's cooking, and also we pilled Andy over the summer by sending him to Oasis, which was like brilliant master stroke by us, and also everyone's become pilled now. I don't know what happened this semester, but like everyone became pilled, and like everyone wants to, or like not everyone, but like a ton of people became pilled, and a ton of people want to do this as a career now. I don't know what we did exactly, but like we started cooking there. But
I think this is like a lagging measure.
yeah, that probably too. Is
I mean,
is
EAG
very true.
helped.
EAG helped. Yeah, we go to New York. That's another thing. We go to New York EAG. I'm like start thinking, hey, I should apply for like real things for next semester. Who knows how likely to... I'm looking at these different fellowships. I apply for ERA because Lewis was an ERA mentor and tells me to do ERA. I apply for Astra, and then I'm looking at MATS. Like MATS is like the thing, and I see, hey, that's Christian Schrader DeWitt. Hey, he's running a multi-agent security stream. Hey, I do multi-agent security. That's my thing. I'm going to apply. I apply. Within 2 days, I get an email saying, hey, can we meet like on Tuesday? It's like currently Thursday, or it's currently Friday. And then I'm like, yeah, we can do that. That's great. Wow, I'm like, this is exciting. And he's like, hey, can we actually meet today? And I'm like, calendar. Yes. Okay. Yep. We're doing it. I'm like, shit. We're meeting in 3 hours. And I'm like frantically prepping, coming up with an idea. I had to come up with an idea for a stream. I don't know if we'll end up doing that, but like we do that. I do the interview. I'm like, the interview goes really well. I'm really excited about this. And then he says he'll let me know by like the end of the week. I'm like, oh my God, this is going fast. And then the end of the week comes and I hear nothing.
Radio silence.
Radio silence. And then the end of the next week comes. Like, hear nothing. Radio silence. I'm like, shit. Well, there's lots of other fellowships that I can apply for. Okay, that's cool. I'm like my probability like pre-applying is like 5%, and then like interview happens, or I get the interview email. I'm like, okay, this is maybe more like 20%. Do the interview, I'm like at like 70%, and then it's just like.
Yeah. I remember this whole time we're talking too, because we're trying to figure out succession stuff.
Yep.
And it's like, if you don't get this, then you're here for another semester, and it gives us more time.
Yep.
But then on one day you get like an interesting email follow up.
Yeah, it's like, hey, are you still interested? Christian emails me like 3 weeks later or whatever. Hey, are you interested in this thing? Still, I was like, Boy, am I. Yes, please. I am very interested in this thing.
It is at this point like you DM Ben and me.
P
and
goes
then,
way up.
Yeah, I immediately buy all the stocks. I'm like, okay, Will's
Yeah.
getting it.
P goes up to like 90. Still not certain. I wait like 20 minutes. I get the email. He's like, congratulations, you got the job. It's like this kind of like unceremonious email that's like has a smiley face and is like, hey, you got the job. And I'm like, oh. But then I realize I'm graduating and or like then I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be here next semester. We have to figure out my successor. Opens this whole range of things, and I have to, yeah, like figure out. Then I figure out, okay, I'm gonna graduate this semester. I go from graduating 3, graduating 4, graduating 3, graduating right now. What is happening? So I'm graduating in like less than a month. That's like,
Is that 2.5 years?
yep, 2.5 years.
That's crazy.
I'm graduating college at 20.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
No, I'm killing you for that one now.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I'm just, you go.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at now. Is like I'm doing maths, and then I'll be in Berkeley for like 10 weeks, and then I'll be at Oxford after that for an undetermined amount of time, depending on whether the those with funding decide to bless me. However, I'm weirdly good at asking for money, so that'll probably happen. And that's where we're at now. I'm now very security pilled. I am very multi-agent security pilled. I'm very national security pilled. Yeah. Big, like, wow. A lot changed in the last year. Like,
a lot.
A lot.
And very quickly.
Very quickly. Like, it never felt. Well, okay, so I guess like there was sort of like this thing of like building context and then like intermittent events that sort of like made a bunch of it like solidify. Like the going to DC was like kind of felt like a phase change, and then like going to Chicago kind of felt like a change. But of course, like Chicago was a while, so like the change was gradual but fast. Going to EAG wasn't a huge shift, but then like at the Boston workshops also, I'm like, oh, I just go to these things and I'm like, oh, this is extreme. Like I remember almost precisely a year ago going to the thing and I'm talking to like the guy from Cat Digital, like scared. And now I go to these things. I'm like, oh, yep. Hi, Anthropic. Yes. Hello. Yep. Let's talk about multi-agent security. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's a good idea. Like data poisoning. How does that interact with emergent misalignment? That's a pretty interesting thing that we should probably worry about.
And even relevantly, like even just a couple months ago back in DC when you were at this house party.
I mean, that was also not a couple months ago. That was like 7 months ago.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like even then, like this is a field that it's related to and you still feel a little uneasy at these like
Yeah.
Talking to these people, and then now it's just like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
just another guy.
I'm the commander. Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah.
We're there. Oh, also another thing is my relationship of like 5.5 years ended in April. That was like a whole other separate event that occurred this year. I don't know. I haven't like fully integrated that into my model of the world, so.
Like GPU, you have many threads.
I have many threads. Yeah, I don't know how I do as much as I do. I think it's like mostly stupid work hours and like caffeine now. Oh, I drink tea now. That's good. That was a thing I learned this summer.
Yeah, I know you're pre-moving for Oxford, and we're
yeah.
Tea over there.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember talking to you about the relationship thing. It was very glossed over. I got some tea. I don't know if I want to say it on air.
Yeah.
For my thing.
Whoa. Many things can be unpacked, but.
Yeah. Wait, I'll tell you. I'm gonna mute everyone.
Wait. Make sure to like super mute.
That's.
Okay. Interesting. Why mute? Sometimes one has to mute. But
OPSEC, Andy.
wait, 9 to
OPSEC.
5. Armand, I do not work 9 to 5.
No, he was saying that like you're thinking about like what you're gonna do in the future, and then this like
Oh, I see. Yeah, the 9 to 5, that's like super fake. It's more like the like 7 to 10,
no, he's saying
7 days a week.
like you're looking out
Oh.
in the future, and like this prospect of this thing is like not great. So it's like okay, we gotta like lock in and do actual stuff
Oh, sure.
slash like
Yeah, safety.
yeah.
Yay. Yeah. So, I think that's where we're at now. Like, I don't know. This year has been both insanely fast and also like 10 years. I'm not the same. Like, the change has been gradual, but I'm not the same. Also, this is like the Boston thing made me super security pilled for some reason because I sort of just like reasoned about why we need to win, and then I now believe we need to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also like I think like an unfortunate side effect of this thing of becoming very focused in AI safety is that like this has become me in a lot of like sometimes every once in a while I can like do this thing of like reflect upon my friends, understand that there's some like golden shining kernel in the middle of them that is separate from any of their work and whatever, and sometimes apply this to myself, but this is like a very rare thing, and most of the time I'm just like I don't know. I am AI safety guy. I'm multi-agent security. I am happy with where it's gone. I'm like a little bit like held together by I don't know. I'm like but like we're going and we're getting shit done, and like yeah, projects are happening, and like my life is changing very fast. I think like maybe like I've like raced ahead, and then like parts of my brain are still trying to like catch up with the fact that this has happened. I think it's going to be very weird to be home. I haven't been home. I mean, you know, this isn't the craziest thing ever, but like I haven't been home since like May. It's like the person I was in May, the person I am now, are not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, it's gonna be weird to see if the new wheel-shaped thing fits in the old wheel-shaped like slots that existed in that world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a story.
What a story. Yeah. Holy yap, by the way. Golly. Apologies.
I come into conversations willing to take whatever the person's willing to give.
Okay.
So there's no worries.
Okay.
And you shouldn't feel the need to apologize.
Okay. Excellent. But okay, yes. So, besides that, what can we talk about? How much more do we want to talk? How much more do you
30
want to
minutes is
listen?
not too long.
Yeah.
I can offer some thoughts if you're interested.
Please.
So, part of the reason why I asked you about this is sort of an unknown question in early career AI safety, which is what Kairos wants to work on, is the unique role that universities play in identity shaping.
Mm.
And the question they're trying to answer is, can this be done at scale? The answer that I'm kind of coming to after hearing what's affected you most deeply is the secret ingredients to this, at least for yourself, is identity is shaped through like a community of people working on stuff that you strive for.
Yep.
And that's why university groups are so powerful, because you're at university anyway, and then now you have all these folks that you're not certain you want to pursue the same path as them, but they're cool people and the research field is interesting, and it's like, oh wow, now this specific part of the research field is interesting. And oh no, now I'm getting into this fellowship, and now I'm spending my whole summer with more people.
Once
doing
they
more
get you in the
interesting
basin.
things.
Once they get you in the basin.
Yeah. So that was one thing I was reflecting on.
Yeah, that seems right. It's like, yeah, our role is not to teach people what they need to know. It's to teach them to yearn for the vast endless sea or whatever. however the
butchered
quote goes.
that
Oh,
quote.
say it. Wait, if you want to build a boat, don't drum up the men to gather wood and whatever other part of it. Let me find the actual quote.
Sam, can you post it? Are you
Sam,
still here?
Sam, give quote. Sam, give quote.
Yeah.
If you want to build a boat, you know what I'm saying? Okay, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men to gather wood, divide the work, and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. I got the vast and endless sea part right.
Yes, you did. but it was the beginning.
Well, no, I like knew I wasn't mixing in the like I wasn't saying the shit part. Like I was like mixing. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yes. So
yeah.
this is something I was reflecting on. Is like,
Yeah.
yeah, when you have a lot of uncertainty coming out of high school, um, there's a certain responsibility that these groups play to help you form that in like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
responsible and good manner, and like
Mhm.
point you towards something that you want to spend your time on. And I think you are a good shining example of something we've done really well here.
It's been completely and utterly transformative to my life. Like the work that you and Ben did,
Mm-hmm.
genuinely. Like, yeah, you guys changed my life in big ways.
I look at whatever you do and I'm very proud. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
Let's see here. What are some other reflections I had on this? I appreciated that, and like this is something you've learned and are still teaching me, is yeah, you can't wait for certainty. It's just iteration.
Yep.
So there were periods in your journey where you were uncertain. It's like, oh, is this the research field for me? Like, do I want to do Spanish?
And I did a lot of waiting.
You did a lot of waiting.
Did a lot of
You
waiting.
did a lot of procrastination.
Yeah, I did.
But these were not even the bottlenecks because you still took action anyways. Yeah, so I find that inspiring and very cool. And the amount of shots on goal you took, it's like, oh, I applied to ERA, didn't get in. I applied to.
Well,
ASHA.
to be fair, no, I like do have the interview sitting
Yes,
in my
you-
inbox. For
Okay,
Era,
okay, never
but-
mind. But what I'm saying is, you know, there's like a lot of things you've been doing in parallel.
Yep.
And I'm sure you've left a lot of stuff out too. But like,
Somehow, yes. Yeah.
yes, yeah. But the end result of this is that the stuff that does get pulled through is like really interesting and cool.
Yeah. You just have to just do things
Mhm.
and like constantly update what those things are, and don't be stuck in a path, and just be a GPU.
Some other reflections I had on this. I think I perhaps was not the most well prompted on pulling Chicago stuff out of you, but
Mm.
you still like gave really good stories.
Mm.
I think one.
No, I think I'm like weirdly bad at giving stories from Chicago for some
You
reason.
don't
I'm not
even
sure
need
why.
to give stories. It's just like
The vibe.
Yeah, like the kernel of it, and like I think that got across. Do you have like fond memories from your time here at Wazy?
I remember like the first like end of year dinner was cool to like, cause like you spend the first semester, and like maybe this is something we need to fix, but like you spend the first semester like siloed off in this little group, and then all of a sudden there's this big group, and you're like, whoa, this is Wazy. Like Wazy's not just like this little thing. It's like there's all these people. So that was like a really cool thing. Obviously every bit of travel we've done has been incredible. Like going to DC and just sort of like we went to, what was that restaurant we went to? We went to some like was it Vietnamese or something? Like
In New York or
no, in DC. I can't remember where we went, but like, oh, I remember me, Ben, and who was the last person there? It was like me, Ben, and Max or something. Went to this really good like Norwegian restaurant.
Whoa.
And that was like pretty sick. And we like sat outside in this little like glass dome thingy, and like it was a very colorful restaurant, and that was really cool. And I don't know, just like all the travel and the like time we spent together, and just like I don't know, co-working has actually been like surprisingly memorable, of just like chucking cards at
Yeah,
everything
I was
ever.
gonna pull the cards out.
EAG was beautiful in a lot of ways. The like parties and socials we've done have been fantastic. Like those have been actually super super cool. Just like seeing people out, because like so much of our time is like we're this very focused mission oriented thing, and but upon reflection, the things that I really remember and treasure are like the times that weren't this. And I think like obviously both are important, but it's like, yeah, all these other things that we did, or like we've gone to lots of dinner. Like I remember like, yeah, us going to dinner with like part of the group, and like, yeah, It's another one of those things that's like made of many small moments.
Yeah. And you're abandoning all it to go to Berkeley.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding. You're gonna have a good career there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out the people that I know that are going there.
True.
Shout out Joe, Ayush, Parv,
Mm-hmm.
Mia, who I met at Boston, Ria, who I met at Boston. That's all I know. Hopefully I didn't just leak anything that's not supposed to be leaked, but
Whoops.
happens. I haven't revealed any state secrets yet, so that's good.
No, we haven't. Yeah, I was considering like what topics we want to touch on, like for your research wise, but I'm not sure. I
We've
wanna
like
get
talked,
there.
yeah.
And like, yeah, it would be
I
kind of sensitive topics
got
too.
mega yap. Wow. The yap consumes, you know? I think I didn't used to have this all-consuming yap that I now have, but
I think this mindset that, or like this thing you've identified where it's like this new will and like you're still struggling to keep up, this is like an artifact of like you need to be on the ball all the time, like being in leadership and like running however many projects you're running and like doing research and stuff like this. Like it necessarily is all consuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like brain is just always running. So
I mean, I like crash sometimes, but I can get into this mode of just like I go and I don't realize how much I'm going.
yeah. I don't know. If you're tired of yapping, you have anything for me?
Oh, that's so true. Jeremy can talk on the Jeremy podcast. Wow, my bad. Jeremy,
I'm not. Yeah.
how is CCAP? It's
Okay,
my
we're not-
favorite question always. We're not talking about CCAP.
We're not
Okay,
talking about CCAP.
we're not talking about CCAP. Jeremy, you've had a similarly transformative year, I think. I've seen from the outside that like I don't know, you've shifted a lot. You've changed a lot. I think this summer was similarly this like crazy collage that you've built of things. Give me some stories from that.
Oh, from the summer?
I mean, whatever of this prompts you to want to say about that whole shift that's happened and stories and blah blah blah.
I don't know, man. The blog post covers most of it.
Yeah. Consult the blog.
Yeah, consult the blog.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Any advice
all
for
seems
those
old
of us trying to separate ourselves from our work? Understand that these two things are different.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's probably many hours of shadow work that one must do.
I think also something I'm realizing is it's also continuous. Like it's not a one and done thing. So what Ben has reflected to me, which is like something I need to keep working on, is let's see, constant yearning.
Mark, I'm yearning it.
Something I'm working on is like the lessons get integrated, but like to keep them alive, you still have to do something every day, or every week, or every month, or whatever. Like the work doesn't stop. The work never stops until you're dead.
So real.
Yeah.
So real.
So yeah, you keep like I don't know, like life will keep throwing the same lessons at you if you haven't learned it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of dancing around what I'm actually trying to say here, which is just like work doesn't stop just because you've had an insight or whatever. It's just like you still
Doesn't
have to keep time to do this stuff.
Sasha Chopin have some quote about like meditation is like you wake up and you realize that like everything you thought before was wrong and you're now awake and like understand things, and then this happens 7 more times.
This is a slightly different phenomenon,
Okay.
I think. Also, I'm like really salty because this was on his Twitter and he deleted his Twitter, so now I can't source it. But yeah, I think his thing was like transformative insights. Like, I think what's interesting about his theory of psychotech is like this stuff is perma, and like I do think there is stuff that's perma for me, but it's like a lot lighter touch.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yeah. Damn.
haven't meditated in far too long. I did that a lot this summer, and then I like been busy.
Mm.
But-
I mean, you know what they say. It's, what is it? Meditate for 15 minutes, and if you're too busy for 15, then do 30.
You're so true, brother. So true.
Yeah.
Might
I
have
don't
to
know.
might have to run that.
Yeah,
On the
I got some books for you, buddy. Yo,
Oh, I love books.
there's this one that's published in 1973. I really like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I
That's
have the
50
physical
years ago.
copy because I
Crazy.
couldn't find the PDF because I'm not as good at web search as you, apparently, of pulling up your random deterrence papers.
Huh? Oh, that's not that hard.
Okay.
That's U.S. Club.
It is a famous one, I think, too.
Yeah.
No. Well,
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
clear the board. Never mind.
Okay, reset. What do you view as your, like, are there any threads to your story? Like, I noticed there's kind of like several threads to mine. Looking back, are there like threads to your story that were important that you didn't realize were important at the time, or like were a bigger deal to who you are now than you thought?
It's kind of hard because I stepped into Wazy like pretty early.
Yeah.
EA2.
You always knew this, or like from early on, you knew that was kind of going to be the thing.
It was more like, yeah, again, refer to the blog.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Their junior year of high school, they've just like suddenly installed this burning understanding that there's like so much more I could be doing. I'm realizing now, yeah, to what degree this is like an actually true and useful and helpful thing. Because it seems like kind of like a Inception style, this world is not real kind of belief, where it's like, okay, this was like useful in the past, but like, is it useful now kind of thing.
Yeah. You have to unlock it and then like forget it again.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, because there's lessons you learn to get you to, the specific post I'm thinking of, this is stupid, it's a Nathan Lambert one when he's talking about Kimi K2, I think. No. It's not that. It's something about the work he's doing now. But the point is
Like character training stuff?
like abstractly, like the role he has, where it's like you get to being like a research manager first by being like really good at tech, and then like the lessons you learn there are no longer applicable at this new stage. And he coaches this football coach, but I forget who. But the point is like you learn lessons that like help you in a previous stage, and you need to unlearn and learn new ones to like keep progressing.
Always update.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think like you, I was searching for a community of strivers, where it's like when I met the EA club, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is the group of people that like actually care about
Beautiful
good shit.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. And are continuing to do good shit and like keep in touch with some of them, and they're very cool.
So many cool.
Yeah. Any open threads that affected me in ways that I don't think I've. No, I don't know. I feel like I keep a pretty good handle on my threads.
Wow.
Or like the unexpectedness. I think maybe I didn't try as much as you. Volume wise, like wide things. Like I tried running club, it cut pretty quick. Like I
mean,
tried
swim club kind of the same.
yeah. But like major wise, it was always computer science.
You had the philosophy side quest, no?
I did. I think I dropped that one. I think just because like
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I just yapped for that long. Surely I can like prompt some.
You don't need to.
But like, I like hearing what you have to say. Sorry, I went into like the. I was off in another land. I was like recalling many years of things.
Not even that many years.
Not even that many years. It's this year I did way too much stuff. I hope next year I have, well, no, gotta keep doubling, but I can't double the amount of stuff. It has to be just cooler stuff.
Volume.
The volume's too high right now.
Throughput.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe UW-Madison was right all along. We need CPUs.
It's like the Midwit meme.
Yeah.
We need CPUs. We need GPUs. We need
It's
CPUs.
Except for we definitely do need GPUs.
We definitely do. We
Lock
are
in.
starving.
Lock in.
We are starving over
We
here.
are. Why is it the case that like individual labs have clusters that are bigger than? Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm kind of floundering in terms of conversation now.
How can this be?
I don't know.
How can this be? Lessons of organizing.
Oh, geez, that's a whole nother.
That's a
post.
whole
I
other
want to
thing.
write in my blog fragments. There's you ever read Kevin Kelly's like 50 lessons? He paywalled it. It's still available on archive, but he turned it into a book. But
50 lessons. I don't think so.
for his
Just-
50th birthday, he wrote like 50 lessons,
Mm.
and they're all really silly lessons, but like clearly informed by real life experience.
Mhm.
So like I like the kicker, like one that comes to mind is like don't trust all-purpose glue, and you know for a fact this man has like 10 stories on this, and it's just really funny. And I want to do a style of this for organizing.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, where instead of like, you know, I mean, like
don't get mac and cheese pizza.
there you go. Yes. So that's this style stuff. Rather than like when you send a message to somebody, make sure that you like give your top 3 times and ask them to pick one, because that's boring and everyone knows that.
Well, actually, not everyone knows that.
That's
Surprising number of
boring,
people.
and I'm really annoyed when people don't do this.
Yep.
I
PSA.
will not name names, but like I've recently gotten.
PSA.
Okay,
Either
in the
give.
past 6 months, I may have received emails where people try to schedule stuff with me and they don't follow this protocol. I should probably make it public, but it's really like
Well, either like send me a Calendly link.
yes,
Or just, like,
reduce
send
the
me 3
friction.
times.
It is not this hard, and it is like respectful for you to do this.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yes, don't order mac and cheese pizza.
Do not order mac and cheese.
What else?
I think I'm like still probably like 2% mac and cheese pizza by biomass. That was brutal. Drink the olive oil.
Drink the olive oil. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. What other things we got? I'm just having serious ones come to mind now, where it's like move fast in everything except in people matters.
That's a banger. That's
yeah.
a banger.
Move fast and iterate except when it comes to people.
Yeah.
Or if you do, be willing to accept the trade-offs. What are some funny ones? Oh yeah, when you host socials, they should be social.
Yeah. No Google Docs for your
Yeah.
socials.
Do not have Google Docs for your socials. Dude, that was the most like SF fucking coded era of Wazy ever, dude.
Oh my, that was prime Ben. That was prime Ben. All
We
due
love
respect to
him.
Ben. We
Yeah.
love Ben, but
Like my most memorable one was when we had a Google Doc ready, and then it devolved into the first generation of olive oil shots.
that was beautiful. That was beautiful. But yeah, what was there was like the group discussion social or some
Yeah.
shit, and it was just like a scholars session, except for we talked less.
Yes, but like,
Ugh.
yeah.
Host.
Ben, if you're watching, you did like.
you-
We're bringing this up because everything else you did with Wazy was fucking beautiful.
Ben, you built
Like,
a beautiful thing and
this
changed
crop
my
of-
life.
This crop of people is coming. Like the people that are popping off now are cropping off of your work. So just
We
we're
love you,
bragging
Ben.
on you with love.
We love you, Ben.
Yeah.
What else did we learn?
I don't think I can hit 50.
EAG has
yeah.
furry parties.
Yeah, geez, furry parties. Yes, can do that one.
Surely we have more like fun. I think if we like properly comb back through things, we can like come up with more.
Yeah. Because like I'm just thinking of serious lessons where it's like, okay, DM people if you actually want them to try.
Yeah.
Uh,
Have a directly responsible individual.
yes.
Do not say, "Hey, can someone do this?"
Yeah. Most low
Ever
agency thing ever.
happens.
And like bystander effect stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy how much I've learned with respect to this. Also, like I've
Yeah.
learned a lot of things about
Yeah.
a lot of things, but like wow.
You're a good project manager.
Ben Kuhn. Armand. Shout out to Armand for massive improvement as project manager throughout the semester. Shout out Ops team. Ops team goated now. Ops team organizes events and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Occasionally I have to answer a question, but like
I was actually like really happy with the fact that like I just offhandedly mentioned like, hey, we should probably have like an actually good end of semester dinner. And like I peep in their docs and they're like setting it up and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are like, I love you guys.
oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, and I know it's a lot of work, but goats. What else have we?
Probably start signing off soon. I think
Yeah.
because someone has this in about 4 minutes now.
Okay. Holy yap! Wow. Time flies when you're yapping.
Yeah. Any last yaps?
Any last yaps?
This is like
Buy
probably the
Wazy.
only podcast like you get before you move out to
So true. Buy Wazy AGI bonds.
buy our merch.
Buy our merch. That's not our merch.
This is
but
not our merch, but it's pretty good merch.
it's pretty good merch. Also, tell Max to give you a hat if he hasn't.
A Claude hat?
Claude hat.
I really want that hat.
Tell Max to give you a Claude hat. I know Sam knows lots about how reliable Max is at getting the Claude hat very quickly.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'll send a request in.
Dang. That was like...
It's fun seeing like the initial slice of the story and you're on to do the next chapter.
Yeah, that's... I'm sure it's going to be... I hope it's equally funny to look back at where I am now. Be like, wow, I was excited about this.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What was I thinking?
What was I thinking? What was my multi-agent security?
I know.
Oh, is this guy... We need to, like, have a computer advantage? This
Yeah.
guy's stupid?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I feel more confident in my beliefs now than I did in the past. But
Yeah, strong
like,
beliefs loosely held. But in this case, you can, by setting the standard of loose beliefs, you can recognize when they're more strong, and then.
I'm not sure I'm there yet, but we'll see.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited for you and all you do.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for, genuinely changing my life.
Yeah, just a casual thing. One always does.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Sometimes we send people to events and give them opportunities that shift their entire career and life path and how they view the world.
Mhm.
It happens.
No big deal.
Yeah. Every day.
Yeah. Cool.
A pleasure.
All right. You want to say anything to the viewers as we sign off now?
Hi, viewers. Thank you for viewing. I am kind of impressed by the fact that you guys viewed this.
This is the most viewers we've had on a Jeremy stream, by the way.
Wow.
ever.
I think we advertised it.
We-
How many
I
views
just
did we
advertised
get?
you. I mean,
43. That is not possible. We had 10 concurrent viewers.
Yeah.
How did we have 10 concurrent viewers? That's kind of remarkable. Wow. Big.
Huge for the program.
The commander.
Huge for the program. Oh God, Armand.
Will Panda.
Will Panda.
Will Panda.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
with that striking emoji, we'll take our leave.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for joining me, Will.
Yes.
I wish you good luck in all your adventures.
Thank you.
And
I
I
am
wanna keep
excited
up
to
with
see what you do as well.
We'll see what I get up to.
Glorious.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.